night stream at 3 o'clock in the morning. Alright, let's go ahead and go to YouTube, get this thing set up. Alright, do that. Share this with the cool people on the Discord. I'll call this one later night stream. Notification squad. I'm probably only going to stream for an hour tonight, to be honest. Just because it's late. Why is it have problem? Never mind. Alright, it's working. Let's begin. So last time we left off, we got the transition from real to procedural animation done. Now we're just gonna make the procedural animation. That's my main goal tonight. Other than that, we might start working on the first level or something, I don't know. But yeah, right now you explode, and you can respawn, and then explode again. The explosion looks okay. There's definitely, it's not perfect, but that's because we don't have the shader set up. You can't go through walls when you explode, which is nice. But yeah, obviously, the bones aren't following the heart like I want, so that's something I really want to fix. I think it looks okay, though, for right now. I like how goofy it is. You just spawn from the skeleton. Dang, you can really fly far with that. Alright, let's begin. So, that's basically what I want to do. So let's do it. So, one way that I think I'm going to do it is by creating a script for each bone that basically gives it a position to rotate around. See, let's go ahead and start by making a script. C# script, we're going to call this bone procedural? I don't know. Bone tracker? That sounds weird. I don't remember how to spell procedural. Whatever, I'll just call it bone animation. Bone anim. Controller. Or actually, I'll just call it bone controller. But that sounds like it's being controlled by the player. What would be a good name for this? Bone relocator? How about bone animator? Alright, so what are we going to do in bone animator? First of all, we're going to need a private static float, and this is going to be the radius around which it tracks. Radius from player. And we'll set that to 1 for right now. That'll probably be changed later. We're also going to create a private float rotation equals, actually we don't want to say equals. At start we're going to assign it a value because each of these are going to have a random rotation, so you create a sort of wheel around the player. I do also need to have this though. I need to have a speed, private, static, float. So yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a float that's called rotation speed. And we're going to set this to 1 as well for now. Obviously going to be changed later, but all of the bones have the same rotation speed. So what are we going to do? We're going to say start. We're going to need to set rotation to a random value. Rotation equals random dot value. And then we're going to multiply that by 2 pi. 2 times mathf.pi. Pi. This way it'll basically give us in radians a random location around a circle. This way we can have a random start to the rotation. Change this to fixed update. This is no longer accurate, so we'll delete that comment. There we go. Okay then. So what are we going to do in fixed update? We're going to change rotation. Rotation plus equals time dot delta time. No, we want to multiply that by rotation speed. Times time dot delta time. I'm not sure if we can use the modulus operator, but if we do that, I guess we should be able to. Wait, would we be able to? Yeah, we should be able to, because it just subtract that. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to mod this by 2 pi. That way, if the value ever gets above 2 pi, it goes around again. So 2 times mathf.pi. There we go. I think we're also going to make a enumerator. We're going to make a private, private enum. We're going to call this bone state. I'm actually going to make this capitalized. Bone state. And then this is going to have the following states in it. We're going to have rigged. I'm going to leave this actually in all caps. And did I use all caps on other enums actually? I'm not sure whatever enums I have. I do have it all in all caps. So we're going to have rigged. We're going to have freefall. Or free. This is when, so rigged is obviously when the bones are being in rigged mode, not procedural. Free is when they're in free fall, like right when they're exploding, and they're actually being affected by physics. We're gonna have pulled. This is when they're being pulled by the heart. And then we're going to have, not sure if we should have a shrinked effect. What should I call the, when they're being in the outer loop? Like when I have all the bones surrounding the other player. Circle? Ring, I guess, sure. And then I guess I'll have a shrink state as well. I guess this should be okay. Alright, we have a bone state. I do not actually need the animator. So what's next? I guess I could go ahead and use, no, that won't work. So we'll use a switch state. If the case is rigged, actually we're just gonna make this default. We don't care when it's rigged, but when it is, oh, I'm still in caps lock. Bone state, ring. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Underneath rotation, we're also going to make a private float shrink factor. I'm actually going to ignore that for now. That will only be an issue when you start shrinking it, and that'll only happen, and we'll set it before that happens. So yeah, it's fine. So when you are in a ring, first of all, break. I'm also going to have a default statement. When you're in default, nothing's going to happen, so just have a break statement there. Now when you're in a ring, what I want to happen is I want the transform.position. Transform.position. Oh yeah, that's what I needed. We're going to say private player or game object. Target player or other player. Should I say other player? Yeah, whatever. So we have other player. Now how do we determine which this is? We need some way of determining if it's this or not. In start, can I require it have something? Can I use this like an instantiator? Float A, will this work? I don't think this works. It's no longer using a Unity one. I should be able to just add a instantiator though. So, bone animator, public bone animator. Yeah, this works. Game object. Other player. Then I'm gonna set other player or this other player to other player. There we go. So here I'm gonna say now transform.position equals I need to say it's going to be it's going to equal other player dot transform dot position plus, and then it's going to multiply the rotation, or multiply the radius from other player, radius from player times, and then it's going to be a vector 3. That's really going to be a vector 2, but vector 2 on a 0, or vector 3 with a 0 on a z. It is on a z, right? Yeah, we're moving on x and y. So radius from player times the current rotation, which needs to be turned into a vector. So new vector 3. So we're going to be making a new vector 3, and it's going to have mathf cosine dot cosine, and then it's going to have the angle, which is going to be rotation, and then it's going to multiply this by, actually no, it doesn't need to. Now we just need to say basically the same thing, except sine instead for the y. Rotation. And then we're going to have 0 on the z. And yeah. So essentially what this should do is it should set our position first to the other player's position, and then we just add a radius times whatever angle we are at. So this should put us at a random position around it. And obviously the rotation's changing over time. I think we can do this as well. First of all, I'm going to save just so this can reload correctly. Alright, now I guess we'll add the waitable state on this as well. Do we really need to? Nah, not really. Also, I can delete all this. This is all, yeah. That's the wrong way of dealing with the bone weight. There we go. So here, this is the update thing. So what sets us to that? That should be in here somewhere. Yeah, where it says that's diffused. Also here, that is also the same thing. So here, what I want to do is, when we're fused, we also set the bone to this. For each bone, game object, bone in bones. Okay, why is it complaining? You shouldn't be complaining right now. Oh, because I capitalized 4 and 4 each. Okay, want to shut up? Oh, I capitalized the E and then it automatically capitalized the other thing. Alright, so for each bone, I want to take the parent and then I'm going to, first of all, when I create each parent, I want to also add this bone animator to it. Also in bone animator, I can set the default state to rigged, I think. I'm not sure if we'll use shrink, but I created it for now. So here, in start, what do? For each bone parent, which I created as gameObject.name, gameObject dot, here we go, gameObject.add component. So down here, I'll add it. So I'm just going to say gameObject.add component. And then we're going to be adding a bone animator. But I'm not passing in anything. It says one overload, but it's not going to tell me what that overload is because that would be useful, of course. What if I put in a value here for the float or the object I'm supposed to have? Other. No, it does not like that. Oh, I can probably add a bone animator, a specific one. And I can probably pass it in there. So first I need to create a bone animator. So bone animator equals new bone animator. And then I can go ahead and I have to add in the other player, which I should have a reference to. I had a method that was called getOverPlayer. I'm not sure if that's correct though. Oh, and I'm getting the specific actual game object. Okay. Yeah, getOverPlayer is correct. So I get the other player. So now I should be able to say bone animator in here, I think. No, it does not like that at all. Does it like this? It does not. Okay. Maybe type dot bone animator. It says it wants a type. Alright, never mind. Let's see if there's a different way to do it. Dot. Add component. Can I add a C# script? No. The problem is this shouldn't work. Let's see if this crashes first and foremost. I feel like it will because like it's going to try to add a bone animator and it's going to try to create a bone animator, but there is no bone animator. You are trying to create a mono behavior using a new word. Yeah. Oh, no, it doesn't like me creating the bone here. That's interesting. Oh, and it's for each bone. Oh, and also it's creating the two players separately, which is making that a problem as well. Okay. That makes things a little bit more complicated. The first and foremost, the first part fails. Because it's looking for the other component, which doesn't exist. So I have to somehow tell it that it exists. How do I do that? I don't know. I shouldn't be creating it this way, though. Alright. So I need some way of telling the newly created bone animator which player it is. That way I can say, hey, try to get the other player. But how do I do that? Obviously I can create a component. That's easy. However, then I can't add the component. But if I add the component, I can't pass in any data, I don't think. I mean, we could try adding in a game object of our player and see what happens. On the other hand, though, this still has a problem. I don't know if this won't work. You can't do that. Obviously, this still has the problem, though, of not knowing what the other player is. Like, because player 1's created first, so it will automatically not know what player 2 is. Also, in, the first level, we're not going to have a player 2. As such, it won't constantly checking, hey, is there a player 2 yet? Is there a player 2 yet? That's going to be stupid. I I guess there should just be a way to set the other player then. And it'll just check to make sure other player is, an actual value first. So we'll just make a public void other player. Now this still has the problem of that. I can't do that because that. Now, the static reference to the other player, no, because that copies the reference, which would not actually work. So I can't just pass in player 2 when it's null, because then when player 2 changes, then it's going to be changed, and the original, the copied version is not going to be changed. So that actually wouldn't work. I guess I can just say, I guess I'll do this. Yeah, I can just save this player, actually. Private game object. This player. We're going to set both of these to null. So the first thing we're going to do actually is we're going to try to set other player. So if other player equal null, then we're going to do this. And we're going to break, or we're going to return. Now return. So at the end of this, we always return. This way, it never gets past this. Yeah, and I also don't want to put in a while loop so it doesn't take up extra memory. So it returns. However, first it's going to try to add itself. So first thing it needs to say is if this player equals null. Now if this player is also null, that means it was literally just instantiated and it can't do anything yet. So do nothing then. Now if other player is null, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to so I guess I just have to care about if it's not null. And then what I can do is I can say this player dot get component. And we're going to be getting the player controller. And then we're going to dot get other player. And of course I can't, because of course I probably made it private. Did I? Yeah, I made it private. Public. So dot get other player. And we're going to say other player equals now if this player is null, it can't really do anything. So we're also going to make a public void set this player. Just like that. And we're going to have a game object player. This player equals player. Pretty simple. And yeah. Now, after I create the I can go back up here to the top. For each bone and bones, that's not right, I don't think. Yeah, that's an update. I need to go to start. So after I create this, I'm going to go to game object dot add component. And we're going to be adding a bone animator. Then I'm going to immediately say bone animator. I guess I have to say bone animator. I have to put a space here. I know. Bone animator, bone animator. Equals, and then I can say bone animator dot. Let's say set this player equals this player. We're going to say game object. Oh, I said equals. This is a method though. There we go. So now it should be able to see it. Damn, that took a while. Let's see if it works though. Shouldn't be any errors. It would appear that I'm wrong. Okay, so it's this getting. Oh, what? Other player equals this dot get component. Should have it. So what I'm guessing is happening is the get other player does not have an option to send null or something. Yeah. Okay. So I'm returning the game object, which if get other controller is, yeah. Wait, get other controller.game object. Yeah, so if get other controller returns null, then you can't get the game object. Then I'm just going to return null. I assume the problem is it was trying to get a game object for something that was giving it a null value. No, it does not like this. Alright, so get component player controller Wait. What? Alright, here, what if I do this? If it really is the fact that this player exists, but the component player controller doesn't, then let's see. And this player dot game or not game controller, player controller. That was the issue. So we should get two foo statements here. I'm just gonna say foo. In the console, I am getting all messages. However, I'm not getting foo, and that's because the program is stupid or something. Oh. Wait, what? Hold on. What is it set to? What is player set to? What thing has the actual player? If I look at player, yeah, this has a player controller. So, yeah. What? Huh? This is doing this correctly, right? I don't see why it's screwing up. Because it should be able to say bone animator is add component bone animator. So it adds it to the bone, or the bone adds it. Wait, oh my god, that's why. I see the problem. The problem is I'm stupid. I have an object called GameObject here. So it's getting that instead of this .GameObject. It was getting like the bones GameObject, not the skeletons GameObject. That was the problem. So now it's actually getting the correct thing and it's gonna work now. The problem is dumb, but the answer is it should be correct. Yeah. And it's saying foo, but I thought it was gonna happen 2 times, but it happened a bunch because this is actually happening one for every bone. So yeah. Cool. Very triumphant music for finally getting the code correct. So now what we need to do is when we fuse this, we should also set all the bone stuff correct. Public void set bone state. I guess I have to make the enum public now, actually. So bone state, So this dot state equals state. There we go. I think I'm going to rename this to fused like the other one. There we go. So when it's fused, it should be going to the correct positions. Now when we go here, I guess I can also put in a switch statement here. So like when I'm switching over to fused, for instance, then I can change a bunch of stuff like its rigid body and whatnot, its colliders. But we'll do this in a minute. Alright. Well, hello there, Aaron. Glad you can make it. Thank you for joining us. As you can see, this is a very late night stream because I want to work on Skeletower, and I'm going to work on Skeletower because of that. Probably only going to stream for another 15 minutes or so. But I hope to get some more of this done. Some more of these procedural animations. Yeah, let's make it so this works first and foremost. So yeah, for each game object bone and bones, when I fuse it, I'm going to say bone dot transform dot parent dot get component, and I'm going to be getting a bone animator, and then I'm going to say dot set bone state, and then we're going to set it to bone state dot, and then we're going to be setting it to fused. There we go. There we go. That's somewhat the effect that I was going for. Now obviously these bones still have collision, which is making them act really funky, but that is the sort of effect that I'm going for, where all the bones are flying through space. So first things first, I think I should go ahead and increase the radius a little bit. I'm also going to increase the rotation speed. I think that might actually be a little too fast. Let's go. Oh, it's switching back and forth immediately. So let's start moving some of this stuff over. Like here in the game object. All of this stuff can be done at start, really. I just need to set these sort of things. bone.transform.parent equals GameObject.transform. Where do I use bone parents? Oh, I have that as a dictionary. Pretty sure I pass in the bone and then that gives me the bone parent. I pass in the game object, yeah. So I pass in the bones parent. Oh wait, no. The bone parent is the key, and then that gives me the actual bone, like the rig bone that it needs to go to. Well, hello there, Logic Melon. Glad you can make it. Thank you for joining us. Currently, I'm trying to transition some of my code over from player controller over to bone animator, because a lot of this is just doing a thing to every single bone. So I think I can do all of this here still. This vector free stuff. Doing the bone weights. Bone parents dot add. Adding this to the dictionary, I mean. Setting its parent. Yeah, that should probably be done here. But adding these colliders can probably be done in bone animator. Adding the colliders and rigid bodies. Yeah, but is there any real reason to do it there instead of just doing it before? Not really. But actually changing state and whatnot, that is what I should do here. So for this, for every game object bone and bones. So after it does this, after it sets its parent to null, I think I'm going to go ahead and say bone.transform, not try format, but transform. Oh, why is it bone explosion force? I said bone. Bone.transform.parent or dot bone animator or dot get component bone animator. Bone animator, and we're going to be dot set state, set bone state. So this is when I self-destruct. So this is going to be bone state dot free, I think. Yeah. So bone dot get component, skin mesh renderer. So for this sort of stuff, we should be able to set it in here. think I'm gonna leave the bone explosion. I think I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna remove this. Because there might be other things that set it to free, but all the things that set it to free should turn off its rigid body. Or should turn on its rigid body, actually. So now what I can do is I'm going to put this in bone animator under case bone state dot free, and then we're going to put a break as always. There we go. Now I want to say we're just going to make a game object dot bone equals child or equals this player dot transform. Well, actually, I should just be able to say the thing that this is on. No, not this player. Transform dot get child. There we go. Why is it saying this? Oh, because it's giving me the transform. So dot game object. Bone dot transform dot position equals bone parents dot get value already for bone. Okay, so this actually does have to be done. Back in the everything, setting its position. Because this has access to the bone parents thing. There we go. So now what we can say is let me think. So when we set this to free, it does all this sort of stuff. Oh yeah, I was never changing the state to fused. Or I was never changing it away from fused, so now it should be changing it away from fused. Oh, it's not actually changing. Oh, yeah. See, it should actually change some stuff. Because it waits for a second, then does that. Now it goes ahead and actually waits for a second whenever you reset it, instead of just automatically snapping back the second or third time. Let's go ahead and make a spin speed as well. Private float spin speed. I guess one thing I need to do is I need to make a case bone state rigged or no fused. break. Now when I fuse it, I should be turning off the rigid body. So I need to say, also I can remove this now. And just say dot is kinematic equals false here. Cut out a step. Then here I can go ahead and turn this off. Basically reverse this. We're actually going to put this outside of this. Then we're going to be disabling the collider, false. And then we're going to be turning kinematic to true because we want this to not be affected by physics. State fused. We should be able to just say transform dot rotate. What other things can we do? By vector free axis and then float angle. So we're going to be doing this vector free dot I guess up or no, forward. And then we're going to be doing it by spin speed. And spin speed's also going to be randomly chosen, I think. Because rotation's chosen randomly. So yeah, spin speed will also be equals random value and times 2 times time dot delta time. There we go. Actually, we should go ahead and subtract it by 1. Now it can give us some spins in different directions. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And also now I don't interact with the circle. Nice. It's definitely not perfect, but I do like it a lot more now. I like this sort of this vortex of bones. Looks pretty cool. Now I just need to make it so the bones actually get dragged along with the heart. I think I'm going to do it for like, so half the time they explode and half the time they get dragged along. And I can use that by doing tweening. Oh wow, we've been live for an hour, so that's cool. I need to think about that also. Let me open up tween. How things can I tween so far? I can tween position. Oh, object to match. Okay. So now let's go ahead and say pulled. Case bone state pulled. This is not a static class, right? Yeah, no, it's not. So when pulled, first of all, break at the end of it. And it should basically do the same thing as fused, to be honest. However, now it also needs to tween its position. We're going to tween dot. I should be able to say something like tween.tweener. Yeah, I did do it. Which is just a static tweener. Yeah, I did it. Let's go. Tweener. Oh wait, did I make this static, actually? I might have, actually. Yeah, tween position. Let's go. So tween.tween position. So we need the game object to tween, which is going to be this. Then its object to match is going to be I guess the heart. But I need a way of actually getting the heart. Do I make it public? How do I store the heart? No, I have that as private. Public game object dot get heart. I think I should switch these method names to have capital letters. I don't know though. I don't know which is more correct in terms of capitalization for methods. Well, is start capitalized actually? That'll tell me a lot of information. Yeah, it is. So yeah, I should be capitalizing these. In that case, end wait is incorrect. But we can rename it to make it easier. Rename some of these. Also, best song in Pikmin 2. Gotta love the bread bug theme. As a bread bug enjoyer, great song. It's incredibly silly. An absolute funny moment. Oh wait, I don't need to do this. I can just say get player position because it's literally the player's position that's changing. I'm stupid. So yeah, bone animator, I can just say, the thing I'm chasing is this player. This player. What else do I need? I need float time between. That is going to be I want to make it so it's half of that. Yeah, it should be half of what respawn time is. But then again, it changes. Because when you die, it's going to be a longer wait than if you break apart, than when you self-destruct. Self-destruct detected, that's actually detecting it. If self-destruct detected, it sets your state to dead, and heart merged with respawn time. I'm actually going to say this is SD respawn time for self-destruct respawn time. I shall put that at the end. What happens if I ricochet right now? I haven't tested that. It should just go immediately back into fused. Oh. I'll just say in terms of position, 0.1 F. Why does it not like that? Float time between. Yeah, but I'm not using this one. I'm using the other overload. Can I overload? Can I talk about the overload? I want the overload. Give me the overload now. Overload. Oh. I said this. So I need to change that to game object. There we go. Wait, what? Plus temp object to match, question mark. That's a ternary statement. So if object to match, wait, is this a bool? No, that's a game object. So I guess if it's null, this is false. What is it? I don't know, that's weird. So temp object, object to watch. Temp object, object to watch dot transform dot position. Otherwise, temp object dot tween value. Oh. Temp object is struct, right? Yeah. And temp object to watch is basically saying, oh, am I watching an object? So then it subtracts its start value. And it's 1 times 1 minus the time remaining, divided by the start time. So yeah, this should work. Why it's not working, that's a great question. I don't know why it's being stupid. Player 1 is not valid. Why is it not valid? It should be valid. Input position is negative infinity, not a number, not a number. Why is it that? I don't know what it is, but I really doubt that it is that. Also, this is snapping really fast. I don't get why it's doing that. Like, where's the heart going? Oh, wait, am I... When I look at tween position, game object to tween, which is the game object, and then object to match is that. Yeah, that's this player. Let's see what happens if I increase the time to 10 seconds. No, it does not like that, and it immediately snaps. Why is it immediately snapping? I don't get why that's happening. When is this even being called? Yeah, what the hell? Hold the phone. What the... This should never be called get because I'm never calling it with pulled. I haven't implemented that yet. This just exists. What the hell? When is this being started with pulled? If this works, that's going to be weirder. Okay. Okay. So the thing that's being tweened is not that. Which makes more sense. Now this of course begs the question, what the hell is going on? Why is the tween going incorrect? Let's add in a debug statement here. See if we can figure it out. Debug.log. So we're going to go ahead and say temp object dot game object. Let's just see what the game object is that's screwing up. Logic says it's the heart. Why it's screwing up though, there's no reason. Okay, so player 1 is the game object. Okay, so player 1 is calling this. Where is player 1 calling this? When you break apart, right? So this is happening when you go ahead and self-destruct, I guess. So self-destruct is doing this. So self-destruct, player state equals state.dead, player rigid body, velocity is 0, saying everything to kinematic. Then it tweens. It says tween position, and it tweens the position of your game object to get over player. Okay. And then it does it over respawn time SD. So let's see. Debug.log. Let's see what each of these actually equal. We have game object. Then we have get over player. I guess I also have a response if it's null. That might be it, but that's weird. I don't think that would be it. So let's see. What are all these values? So we have player 1, which is the thing that's changing. Really, this is player 2 because player 1, it's indexed, or player 1's indexed to 0. Then we're going to Unity Engine Game Object, and we're going to player, which is player 0, and the time is 0. Why is it 0? That would explain it. Oh, I changed the name to respawn time SD. That's what it is. That's what it is. When I changed the name to respawn time SD, it changed it here. And it just gave it a default value of 0. So change that to 0.2f. Now we should be fixed. That's pretty fast. I think I'm going to decrease it a little bit. So I'm going to make it 0.5. Let's see how that looks. There we go. But yeah, it's because I changed the name and I didn't actually have the value in the code. I had it in Unity. It reset the value. Alright, so now let's go ahead and we can go back to bone animation or bone animator. So I need to have the respawn time here, I guess. For player control, when I go ahead and have waitable and wait, I guess I just have the string key. Oh yeah, never changed. Never tried that. I never tried ricocheting, seeing what happens. Okay, yeah. It becomes solid again, which is understandable. So one thing I can do also is go back here and for each bone and bones, when I try dash, wait, what? Try dash for each bone, float bone, explosion force. Why is it doing an explosion force here? What? Why is it doing that there? Shouldn't that be during a self-destruct? That's fixed update, regular update, if self-destructed, then go ahead and explosion force. Yeah, what the hell? Why is there an explosion force down here? In try dash. Okay, this makes sense. When you try to dash, you're setting its parents back to its original parent. You also set its skin mesh render to true, that to false. You set its parent, um, its collider to enabled to false. And you set that to true. I guess it's just a remnant from a copy and paste. I should just be able to replace all this with rigged. I should be able to just say bone dot transform dot parent dot get component bone animator dot set bone state bone animator dot bone state dot rigged, or more accurately shrinking. So shrink Why, hello there, Misha GK Frax. Glad you can make it. Thank you for joining us. I can increase font size a little bit. I hope that helps a little bit. So when I try dash, I should be setting my state to shrink, which I can then go over to bone animation. And here, after fused, I'm going to put shrinked. So case, set bone, or case, bone state, shrink. Then we're going to break. So when I'm shrinking the bones, do I really need to do this? Probably, yeah. Alright, so I'll actually do this back here in player controller. We'll do that. Then the rest of these are pretty obvious. I actually don't want to disable the mesh renderer though. Not for shrink. I want to do that for rigged though. So case, bone state, dot rigged. Truth is the bone state was rigged from the start. Alright. Now here is where I want to disable the mesh renderer. We can also get rid of this. There we go. I guess we can also go ahead and just copy this over to make sure these happen in case something happens where it gets rigged anyway. I also need to set shrink factor to 1. That position. No. Bone. No. Shrink factor. What am I saying? Shrink factor. Dang, we've been going for an hour and a half. I should probably stop pretty soon. Shrink factor equals 1. 1.0. F. There we go. Now in state.shrink, case, shrink. Break. Here we want to do the same thing as we were doing before. However, now we need to throw in a little bit of extra math where radius from player is being multiplied by shrink factor. Also, shrink factor is changing. I just realized we can't do that without making it a variable, like, or a value by reference. Or making it an object. And And of course I can't just do it this way. Can I make a wrapper this way? No, that's a struct. Dang. Well, that's gonna be fun. Why are you being dumb? Random is a thing of the system. Random. Do you want to be not stupid? Is it because I have two systems? Let me try deleting one of them. Deleting these unused ones. Nope, it does not like it. Alright, whatever. Um, because I am using system? Oh, it is. I guess because I was going to try to use a struct double. But yeah, this is a problem because I want to make the float a tweened value, but I can't do that. I have to make a specialized class for that, which I'm not going to do now. It's too late. I think I'm about done for the night. I'll show off what we have so far, and then I'll probably end the stream there. Yeah, right now you can run around, you can jump, and you can break apart, and then become a wheel. The wheel does not disappear yet, or it doesn't disappear now because it's going into shrink, and it's not changing into the other thing. Looks kind of cool though, but that's because the bones are moving, because they're child of the other skeleton. Weird. Anyway, with that, I think I'll